Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Time to Cook. Now I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for you today. I've kind of got a test kitchen situation going on today, but let me explain first. For those of you who have been following my channel, you know that I recently moved, and the house that I moved into was actually my grandparents'. My grandfather built this house, and then after they passed away, my parents moved here. They had the house renovated and had an addition put on. Well, they've recently moved and we moved here. I was going through some cedar chests and I came across some of my grandmother's old cookbooks. This one in particular is Ida Bailey Allen's Money Saving Cookbook. It was copyrighted in 1940, and it was dedicated to the Patriotic Homemakers of America in behalf of eating for victory. And I just thought this was very interesting. Let me just read a couple things to you out of the table of contents. Planning meals on a money-saving basis. And I thought, well, wouldn't that be interesting to know, like, how much did they spend a week on groceries? What else? The meat budget, savory sauces, husbands and pies, cakes and cookies, making foods look and taste important. Thought that was interesting. Leftovers as money savers, how to use leftovers of all kinds, the lunch box. Are dull lunches likely to make school children dull? Anyway, there's just a lot of information in this book, and it is just kind of neat to go through. But there was one recipe that kind of just popped out at me, and it's for sweet potato cornbread. Has anybody out there ever had sweet potato cornbread? I don't know, but I happened to have some sweet potatoes in my pantry, and I thought, well, I think I'm going to give this a shot. So I'm going to make sweet potato cornbread out of Ida Bailey Allen's Money Saving Cookbook. So the first thing that I'm supposed to do is, it says beat 1 egg in a bowl. So I guess I'm gonna add my egg to this large bowl. And I'm gonna mix this together. All right, so next it says to add the sweet potato. So I have boiled my sweet potato. I'm gonna, I guess, measure this out. 1.5 cups. Now it says mashed, but I'm going to mash them in the egg. Like, this is new for me. This is a first for me. I hope this turns out. So 1.5 cups of sweet potatoes. So now I'm going to mash them in with the egg. All right. All right, then you add the milk, 3/4 of a cup of milk. And then it calls for 1.5 tablespoons of melted shortening. I've got butter flavored shortening, but that's all I got. But that's what I'm going to use. So 1.5 tablespoons of melted shortening. So I get the luxury of putting mine in the microwave to melt mine. Okay, so, all right, I'm going to add my melted shortening. Then add cornmeal, and it is 1.5 cups of cornmeal. So 1.5. All right, then it calls for 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Man, that's kind of a lot. Okay. 4 teaspoons. 3, 4, and 1 teaspoon of salt. All right, so I'm gonna mix all this together. I do not know. This looks weird a little bit to me. I don't know. We'll see. Now it says to pour into a well-oiled large cake pan and bake for 25 to 30 minutes in a hot oven, 375 degrees to 400 degrees. I'm using my cast iron, and I think I'm going to go with this, I think this is an 8-inch. I think I'm going to go ahead and put some, I guess I'll go with this shortening. I'm going to put a little bit of shortening in my cast iron skillet. And I've already got my oven preheated, but I'm going to pop my skillet in my oven to melt that shortening. I don't know about this, y'all. I don't know about this. We'll see. Don't know. My shortening has melted. I mean, I would normally do butter, but we've got the butter flavored shortening, so hopefully that'll be all right. Okay, so I'm going to put this cornbread in my skillet. Looks a little weird. All right, I'm gonna pat this out. All right, I'm gonna put this in my oven. I got my oven set at 375 degrees, so I'm gonna put it in here for 25 minutes. So do your thing, sweet potato cornbread. All right, let the test begin. I hope this turns out. We shall see. I'm a little bit on pins and needles. Oh goodness. I mean, it looks good. Let me show you. All right, so I'm going to cut into this cornbread. Oh, here we go. All right, here is the moment of truth. We'll try this cornbread. Wow. That really is good. There's no flour in this, so that it has a nice corn. You can definitely taste the cornmeal in it. It's not as like cakey as cornbread would be with a mix of flour and cornmeal. I think the sweet potato gives it just a hint of sweetness. But yeah, that's really good. And gluten-free. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little test kitchen today. And I will see you soon with more recipes. American Woman's Cookbook was this one. And my grandmother actually has like different other recipes. This is old-fashioned dressing. It's kind of neat because this one is handwritten. So that's kind of neat. But she has other recipes kind of tucked in the pages of this one. Peanut butter fudge, oatmeal fudge cookies. That's interesting.